Hey guys, I'm Alex. Thanks for clicking and welcome to this lesson on 5 common new English learner mistakes. So in this lesson, I'll be looking at mistakes that I have heard in my time as a teacher from students from various parts of the world. So these are mistakes that are made by Spanish speakers, Portuguese speakers, German speakers, Korean speakers, and they might apply to you as well. These are mistakes that kind of cross over and that are very common. So let's start with the first one. Let's look at number 1. Okay, so this is actually a double mistake that I commonly hear when you're discussing a subject and you want someone to give you an opinion on something. So for example, do you prefer Coke or Pepsi, or do you prefer this or that? And some people will say, well, it's depend, or it depends of. So it depends of the season, it depends of the person, it depends of the society or the country or something like this. So what is wrong with this? Well, we don't say it's depend. We say it depends. It depends. Okay? So we don't say it's depend. The correct form is it depends. And for this is okay. It depends, right? The only problem is the preposition that you're using. We don't say of in English. We say it depends on. Okay, so it depends on the person, it depends on the country, it depends on the time of day, whatever topic you're discussing. Okay, guys, let's move on to number 2. So for the second one, this is actually a verb choice error. In many languages, when you talk about eating, you use the verb take. So you can take a Coke, or take your coffee in the morning, or you take breakfast, take dinner. In English, it's a little different. So here we have 2 sentences. The first one says, I took a coffee this morning. Now, when you look at it, maybe you went to a coffee shop and you say, yeah, I will take a coffee. Okay, not too much wrong with that. That's okay. However, when you're talking about the act of drinking the coffee, we use the verb have in English. Okay, so you didn't take a coffee. You say, I had. In the past, right? I had a coffee this morning. Same thing for the second one. So this one says, I take dinner around 6. Well, in English, we don't really say I take dinner around 6. We say I have dinner. Okay, so when you're talking about food, you have breakfast, have lunch, have dinner, have coffee, you have pizza, you have a sandwich. Anything to do with food, use the verb have. Now, let's move on to number 3. Okay, so this one is actually a preposition error, and it's when people use for when they mean to use an infinitive. So, for example, I use it for go to work. Imagine you have a car and people ask you, what do you use your car for? Do you drive around a lot? Or you say, no, I only use it to go to work, right? So we don't say for go, we use to go. Now, why do we do this? Well, when you have a verb and you follow that verb with either a pronoun or an object of some kind, the verb afterwards has to be an infinitive, okay? So also, if you look down here, I need glasses for read. Well, we know it's to read. And she ran for catch the bus. She ran to catch the bus. Again, there are some verbs, as you know, which are only followed by gerunds, some verbs which are only followed by infinitives. So here, if you want to have a verb and you want to use another verb, another action after that verb, so she ran to catch the bus, it has to be a gerund or infinitive. An infinitive is to plus the base verb, okay? So don't say, I use it for do something. I use it to do something. I need glasses to read, not for read. Okay, so if you ever have, the desire to have a verb plus another action, either use a gerund, or in this case, it's not for do something, it's to do something. All right, guys, let's look at number 4. So this one is actually an adjective choice error, and it's the difference between ing and ed adjectives. So when you feel something internally, inside, it's a personal feeling, you should be using an ed adjective, not an ing adjective. So all three examples on the board here are actually incorrect. So the first one says, I am exciting about that. So if you have like high interest in something that's coming up, like a concert, you are not exciting about it, you are excited. Okay, you say, I am excited. It's an internal feeling, okay? The second one, he is interesting in music. You want to say that he has interest in music. So he is interested. He is personally interested. He has an internal interest. And finally, I feel so boring. This means that you are a boring person and other people think you are boring. You are not interesting, which is not a good thing to say about yourself. So you say, oh my goodness, I feel so bored. Okay, I'm bored. That's it. Okay, guys, so again, if it's internal, it's an ed adjective. If it's external, it's ing. So you say, I am excited because the class is exciting. I am interested because the movie is interesting. So let's move on to the last one, number 5. This final one is actually the difference between it is and is. Now, I know in many languages, you can start a sentence, a statement with is. In English, you can start a question with is, a yes-no question, no problem. Is it cold today? Is he here? Is it easy? Like, is it an easy test? Okay? However, when you're making a statement, you cannot say is good, is easy, is not a problem. You have to say it is. In English, you need the subject. Okay? So for these, we don't say is good. We say it's good. It's easy. It's not a problem. Okay? And all of these mean it is. It is. It is. So not is good, it's good. Not is easy, it's easy. Not is not a problem, it's not a problem. All right, guys, so let's review these 5 common new English learner mistakes. Okay, so number 1, we say it depends or it depends on. We don't say it's depend or it depends of. Number 2, we say I'm having sushi for dinner, not I'm taking sushi. Okay, so anything with food, use the verb have. Number 3, I visit engVid to improve my English. Not for improve, but to improve. And number 4, I am excited about that. Not I am exciting for that. If it's internal, you are excited, you are interested, you are bored, you are horrified, okay? And finally, it's fantastic, not is fantastic. If you'd like to test your understanding of these 5 very common new English learner mistakes, as always, you can check out the quiz on engvid.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.